Many young Canadians cannot afford to buy a home and are struggling to find a job. And with Prime Minister Carney warning of sacrifices in today's budget, they are voicing concerns about being left behind. For more on those concerns, I'm joined this morning by James Adair. He's a student at the University of Ottawa. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, but I'm more curious about how you're doing. Listen, housing, inflation, unemployment, which is your biggest worry right now?
I think for a long time it's been housing, but in the past couple of months it's been finding a job. For myself and for a lot of my friends, I think finding a job has become the biggest issue.
Well, I am glad you hit on that. According to Stats Canada, youth unemployment, we know in this country, is at its highest level in 15 years, since 2010. How, in your opinion, could the government better support this next generation?
I think the government needs to be investing in industries across Canada. I think when we see layoffs in places like Detroit and auto workers, I don't think a lot of people's first thought is, what is the impact on, students just graduating university? But it's all trickled down, right? If there aren't people working in auto factories in Detroit, they aren't hiring new engineers, they aren't hiring computer science students, they aren't hiring all the other people in those industries. And I think that's what we're seeing, is we're seeing those jobs losses there, and that's affecting all of the other sectors of Canada.
James, you did a great job of highlighting private industry, but I want to just read some numbers that were surprising to me about youth unemployment in the federal public service. So as of March 2025, the number of people aged 24 and younger employed in the public service dropped 3,000 jobs. Public servants between ages 25 and 29 dropped over 4,000 jobs. And those aged 20 to 24, so the second greatest loss, they dropped 3,600 jobs. That's a lot of jobs out of the public sector. We know the Prime Minister has warned that there's going to be cuts from within the government. When I lay out those numbers for you, how are you expecting it to impact people like yourself?
It's already impacted me. I'm in a co-op program at the University of Ottawa, and typically that would mean that this summer I would have been working for the federal government. But I was not able to find a job with the federal public service, despite having over a year of experience doing full-time work. Most of my friends were not able to find jobs in the co-op program with the federal public service, and had to could not find a job, or had to find, part-time jobs or other ways of making it work. A lot of my friends had to move back home. And so it's already started affecting us. And I think it's bad for students. I think it's also bad for our public service, if we're having an aging public service that has less new blood in it. But I also think it's a really easy, and I think slightly late, I think it's a lazy way of cutting the public service numbers, as getting rid of students, and it doesn't set us up for success.
I'm sure you watch this because this happened in Ottawa, but the Prime Minister was speaking at a university to an audience that included a lot of students, where he said that all of the decisions ahead in this budget are not going to be easy to enjoy by all. By contrast, Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre recently showed support for Canadian youth during a speech in Toronto. I'm going to play this for our viewers in case they missed it and get your reaction.
I want you to know that I see you. Conservatives see you. We see the sadness in your voice, the hopelessness on your face, those big, dark.
At this point, is it for somebody like yourself? Is it the leader or what they're promising that's really more appealing for you?
I think it's what they're promising. I think when I look at the situation we're in, I'm looking at the fact that this has been Liberal and Conservative governments going back and forth for decades, since the dawn of the Canadian government. And I think it's been a succession of failures to get us to this point. And I think Carney is really, he's calling this a generational budget, but I'm not sure I believe it.
Generational budget, but also generational investment, which means generational spending. You are at the beginning of that timeline. What is a policy that you'd like to see in today's budget when you're looking ahead to your future?
Yeah, I think, a lot of young people are very worried about climate change. Something that I would like to see is something called the Youth Climate Corps, which is creating good jobs for young people to work in sectors like, disaster management, work in sectors installing solar panels and those kinds of things, and creating jobs for young people while also fighting the thing that a lot of us are still very stressed about, which is climate change.
James Adair, I want to thank you for joining us this morning, giving us sort of a firsthand perspective of what it's like for somebody in your age demographic as we look to face a new federal budget. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much for having me.
If you like that video, make sure to subscribe to the Your Morning YouTube feed, where you can find all kinds of new content posted every weekday morning.